Oh, welcome. And in this video, I'd like to give a demonstration on how to set up SailPro properly and how you might use it in a race situation. Just so you get a better feel for the device, get used to it or the application before you actually get out on the water. Like any piece of technology, it's quite feature rich, and so therefore there's a little bit to understand on how to actually use a piece of technology like this. So it's worthwhile spending some time and going through it and then practicing, just making sure that you're aware of how the tools work. I'm sure that for all sailors, they've used um, uh, technology before on the boat, such as radars and navigation equipment and so on. And every uh, piece of hardware and software has its own idiosyncrasies and settings that you need to be familiar with to make sure that you get the best out of them. Okay, so with that in mind, the first thing when you open up SailPro, you're asked to either join for free, which you can do by clicking here and completing this form. But if you already have a using a SailPro account, all you need to do is just click login and enter your account information, which I'll do here, and then your password, and then just click the sign in button. Now, the first thing to ensure that if this is the first time that you're installing SailPro or running it on your device is to ensure that you enable SailPro to have access to your device's GPS or its location. Your device has an onboard GPS receiver from which it receives satellite updates of its latitude and longitude, and we or SailPro needs access to that to run much of the functionality, such as boat speed, time to the start line, race tracking, course over ground. All of that functionality utilizes your onboard GPS. So without that, we can't perform those calculations. So it's important that you allow SailPro access to the device's location and its precise location. And you can see here the first screen, I'm in an Android phone, but it's basically the same for Apple. There's just one little difference in Android, which I'll show you. So it's important that you click while using app. And then on an Android, you get this screen for location permission. And you'll see the default setting is allow only while using the app. Well, our strong suggestion is that you click the top one, allow all the time. And what that means is that SailPro will be able to access the device's location, whether the app be running in the background or the screen's turned off or for whatever reason. If you don't have this set, you might find that you'll have issues when your screen goes to sleep, that it stops calling out your boat speed and it stops race tracking. Typically, what we find 90% of the or 99% of the support calls that we get is that users have not set on an Android device allow all the time. So it's important that you do that. So once you've done that, then just click back. Again, you'll be asked to confirm that we are able to access or SailPro is able to access your location. You just need to click accept. Once you've done that, you're now in the app. And here you can see, so I can access my course over ground, my time to distance feature, and so on. Now, so just before we run through the settings and how you, the
0.5.
the device itself or the application itself, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the settings, and the easy way to do that is just click here,
0.5.
then go to settings, and here I'm going to run through the settings for you. The top one is the interval. The interval which we have set here is 10 seconds, and what that's going to do is tell you how it's going to tell SailPro how often to call out the time remaining. So if you've got it for 10, every 10 seconds in the countdown, it's going to call out your time, such as, if you've got a 5-minute start, it's going to go 4 minutes 50. It's going to call out 4 minutes 40. When it gets to 4 minutes 40, it's going to call out 4 minutes 40 until it gets down to the next setting, which is countdown, which is here is set for 10, at which point it will start to sequentially count down the numbers 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Now, I'm just going to go down here. I'm going to turn off the audible boat
Audible speed deactivated.
so it's not distracting us. Jump back into settings. The next is audible speed, and you can see that you can turn that on and off from here or from the front screen. Audible Course Over Ground, on or off. So the speed frequency, 10 here, is basically telling you how often to call out the boat speed, and the same with the time to distance frequency. All right, how often to call out that time to distance frequency, whether it's 10 to every 10 seconds or every 20 or what have you. Elapsed time basically means that the device will record the race time. So once the countdown timer gets to 0, it will start to count up. So you can record the time that the race took. Race tracking enabled means that it will track your race. Speed units, pretty self-explanatory. Just select the speed units that you're looking for. Battery saver, if you activate this, the device will not get your GPS location. It will save battery, but it will not have access to your device's location, and as such, it won't be able to perform much of its functionality. But if you just want to run the countdown timer, feel free to use the battery saver. Always on means that the display will always be on. So if you click this and you've got your phone mounted somewhere, the display will not turn off, even if you've got a setting in your phone to turn the screen off every 35 minutes or 30 minutes. You could change the theme, either a light or a dark theme from here, but you can also change the settings or tell SailPro which features you want to run based on your class rules. So if you're training, you might have all of these on, but if you're racing a laser, for example, you might turn off course over ground, boat speed, and time to distance. Okay, so if you do that, none of these features will show. Okay, so you can see here they've been turned off. All right, so you can set that within the class rules. Just turn that back on. Okay, and so that's been turned back on. All right, so now we've explained the settings. Let's just run through the tactical display with inside SailPro. At the top, we've got our race timer. Let's, as an example, say we've got a 5-minute start. So our race committee has said we've got a 5-minute start. We simply scroll the minutes to 5, okay? And then when the race gun goes, the warning signal goes, you just click the start.
Race started.
And you can see it'll start to count down.
Race stopped.
All right.
Race timer reset.
You'll notice at the top here, we've actually got a real-time clock. And that's actually quite helpful because it helps you, if your race committee has said, right, our race is going to start at, our warning signal is going to be at exactly 1 p.m. or 1300 hours, you can be sitting here watching this and getting ready for it. So as soon as that turns over to 1300 exactly, you can have your finger over the start button. All right. But so let's say, for example, we start the race,
Race
we
started.
start to count down, then we get a general recall. All right. So what do? You click the reset button,
Race timer
and the
reset.
race timer will jump back to 5 minutes, ready for the next start. So we get another start.
Race started.
Okay, and then we start to go. Now let's say, for example, that we missed clicking the start by a few seconds. The gun went off, and
4
we
minutes
were
50.
concentrating on something else, and for whatever reason, we missed clicking the start, timed exactly the same as the race boat.
4 minutes
Well,
40.
that's what we have the sync button for. The sync button enables you that if the next time, at the next minute, the race
4 minutes 30.
the race boat or the race committee makes a signal, you can actually click that. So let's say, for example, that you got your 20 seconds out
4 minutes
and then
20.
the 4-minute gun went, then all you need to do is click the sync button, and SailPro countdown timer will jump down to the next minute. Right, so this is a really handy feature. Often, you
3
might
minutes 50.
miss the 5-minute by a few seconds because you weren't ready, but now you can get ready and have your finger over the sync, and as soon as that 4-minute goes, you click the sync.
3 minutes 40.
And it will jump down to the next minute. If you miss the 4-minute, then you can wait and wait for the
2
next
minutes 50.
signal, or if somebody else got it on their watch or whatever it might be, you can sync that time. All right. Underneath that is our boat speed, and I'll
2
just jump
minutes
into another
40.
app and get that going.
2 minutes 30. 2 minutes 20.
Okay, so now I've basically tricked my app into thinking that the device is moving, and you can see it's giving me some boat speed here, all right, which is here. Now,
2
as I
minutes
mentioned
10.
before, we've got audible boat speed, and I've turned that off, right, just while we're doing this demonstration. But if I only want to turn that back on, you see the little speaker here on the left, you just click that.
Audible speed activated.
All right,
2 minutes.
so now
9.4.
you'll hear we're getting the boat speed, okay, and we're getting that every 10 seconds based on the settings that we set.
1 minute 50. 6.7.
All right. And so it's going to call out the boat speed every 10 seconds, all right? You'll also note
1 minute 40. 8.6.
now, you'll also notice that we've got a course over the ground of 0, but we're not calling that out. So if we jump back into the settings and we can
1
see here,
minute
Audible
30.
Course Over Ground has been
6.7.
turned off. We'll turn that on, we'll save it, and we'll go back, and we'll just wait.
1 minute 20. 7.8. 0.
So you can see now it's calling out 7.8 and then 0. So 7.8 is the boat speed and 0 is the course over
1
ground.
minute 10. 7.8. 0.
And you can see our countdown timer is still counting down. So we'll let that go. So
1 minute. 6.7.
what
0.
we're doing now is we're just letting the countdown timer run. And you can see it'll keep pulling out 50.
50.
Which means you've got 50
7.9.
seconds
0.
remaining. And then still calling out the boat speed and the course over ground.
40. 6.7. 0.
You can obviously see it, but you can also get that audible call out. If we just wait for a few more
30.
seconds.
9.4. 0. 20. 6.7. 0.
Now we're getting down to the countdown. We're going to get to 10 seconds.
10. 9. 8.
And you'll notice
7. 6.
that it will not call out
5,
the speed while
4,
the countdown is counting
3,
down.
2. 1. Go. 6.9.
And then we will
0.
start to get the boat speed and the course over ground call out. All right, so it's designed to do that so that it's not going to confuse you. All right, we're just going to stop that race
0.
and then we're going to reset it.
Race
And
timer
you'll see we'll
reset.
jump back to that 5 minutes, okay? Now, the next feature I want to talk about is our time to distance feature. And that's this little button here next to the
9.40.
race. The way that time to distance works is it's basically telling you or calculating how far away
6.7.
and how
0.
long it will take for you to get back to the start line. Now, this is version 1, and we are actually working on version 2, which will allow you to
6.7.
ping either
0.
end of the lines, so to basically draw the start line. But for the version 1 feature, the way that it works, it's simpler in that all you need to
6.7.
do
0.
is sail to a point on the start line that you would like to start at, roughly that you're going to start at. And then all you need to do is once you're there, is click the
6.7.
TTD button.
0.
And you'll see now down the bottom, you'll start to get these time to distance measurements. So your distance from the location that you set it, which is 45 meters, and your time to that distance, which is 12. The time to distance is based on how far away you are from that point, that location that you saved, and your boat speed. All right. Now, let's say, for example, you've done that, you're sailing away from the marker, you can see that you're getting further away from it, and then the race committee fires the 5-minute gun. We click start.
Race started.
And now you can see that the app is starting to calculate exactly how early or late you're going to be.
4 minutes 9 seconds
And
early.
you can see that
4 minutes 50.
and you can see that it's telling you. Now, you can also hear that it's counting down the time. The
3
app,
minutes 49 seconds early. 4 minutes 40.
because it is in time to distance mode, it will no longer call out the boat speed and the course over the ground.
3 minutes 31
We've
seconds
done that
early.
because
4
it
minutes
can become
30.
quite confusing. So what this means now is you're going to get your countdown time and you're going to get your
2 minutes 45 seconds early.
your
4
line
minutes 20.
arrival time, whether you're 2 minutes 35 seconds late or so forth. Okay, so you can see that it's calculating there.
2 minutes 54 seconds
The other thing
early.
to note, though,
4 minutes
is that
10.
once we get down to that countdown, again, it will only call down the countdown. So the 10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
2
5, 4,
minutes
3, 2,
21
1, 0.
seconds early. 4 minutes.
All right. So there you go. That's basically it. There's a few other functions down the bottom. I'm just going to stop the time to
41
distance.
seconds early. 3 minutes 50.
In fact, if I,
6.7.
just to show you,
0.
you can actually log the time to distance and I can reset it.
Race timer reset.
And it will save that location on the start line. So if you've already saved that using the TTD button, you don't need to go back and reset it. All right. Yeah, so just to go through some of the functions in the bottom, you've got your audible
Audible
speed.
speed deactivated. Audible speed activated. Race tracking deactivated. Race tracking activated.
Your battery saver mode.
Battery saver activated. Battery saver deactivated.
Your
Always on
always on
activated.
activation here.
Always on deactivated.
And you can change the themes as well. So there you go. SailPro has a bunch of other features such as Boat Hub, where you can store your boat information. It also has international flags database. It has a race tracking feature, so it can show you your races, which you can share with other sailors. It has a sailing dictionary. It has weather, and then of course your settings. So yeah, hope that was helpful. My suggestion is that you practice using SailPro before you go out and race. It is quite a feature-rich application and can be very helpful on the race course. It's just important that you prepare yourself for how it works and making sure that you're utilizing the features that you want to utilize. Okay, thanks very much for watching. If you have any questions whatsoever, please contact us at support@sailpro.app.